So I thought I would share with you just what it's like to actually witness someone crossing a ladder, and I've got a little video clip that I'd like to show you. This is me clipping into these fixed lines, and you'll actually see me doing this. So this is not just someone, this is not a YouTube clip. This is me actually filming this. So I get sweaty palms watching this. So hopefully you don't, but let's see how that goes. You notice those last few steps, saying, whoa, we got to get there very quickly, you got to try and get there as quickly as possible. I mean, talk about focus and balance. That's really required, absolute focus. It's amazing how over the years I've actually had fun going through the icefall. It's like this big adult jungle gym. You know, our kids climb on things and play on things and do all sorts, but this is a wonderful way for an adult to be able to do that. So once we have crossed some of these ladders and we start getting up onto the higher reaches of Everest, you'll notice this big, massive north face. Absolutely magnificent. And this is a place called the North Col, us looking down, and Camp 2 on the north side. We're at 7,300 meters. And it's an inhospitable place. They tie the tents down with bits of old rope. And this is a place where you're on this north face, and just to give you some sense of what it's like to be lying in a tent looking out, that's what it's like to be in this environment. Really steep terrain. And we would actually be sleeping and living on supplemental oxygen once we'd left a certain point, because we've done all of our acclimatization. And this is where we would be breathing with supplemental oxygen. And Mike and I, both being elderly, as we were on the mountain, our beards would be white, really show our age. And we'd be lying there and we'd be using a nasal cannula to sleep. And you know, if anyone would normally walk past that tent and they saw these two old grey men with nasal cannulas in their nose, they'd probably say, these guys are in the departure lounge for sure. I mean, they're on their way out, eh? I mean, they're not climbing any mountain, they're definitely on their way out. Once we spent a bit of time at Camp 2, we'd head up to Camp 3 on mixed ground, mixed terrain, a bit of snow, a bit of rock, very interesting terrain. And then we'd get up to this place called Camp 3. We're at 8,300 meters on the mountain. There are only 5 mountains on the planet that are higher than this place. So getting up to Camp 3, 8,300 meters, I remember getting up there and in this blurry state, Because what happens when you're deprived of oxygen is things aren't functioning so well. Your brain is a little fuzzy. It's not great. It's a bit like, and I'm not advocating alcohol at all, but it's a bit like you've had too many glasses of wine and you're expected to function really well. Not such an easy combination. I always say that actually alcohol's good training for high altitude mountaineering, but don't take me up on that, it's just a thought. And I remember seeing this gentleman lying outside of his tent in his down suit, boots, fully clothed, wondering what on earth is he doing lying outside the tent. It dawned on me that this was a Bulgarian climber that we'd heard about that had passed away a week before. And what had happened is his climbing buddy was someone we knew, and we heard later from Manny that what had happened is they were going to push for the summit. 9 p.m. at night, the Bulgarian climbed out of the tent, sat in the side. Manny crawled beside him and said, "I will see you along the way." They put on their boots. The Bulgarian climber was extremely tired and exhausted, and he lay back thinking, "I'll just take a little rest." Fell asleep and never woke up again. They actually say it's a very pleasant way to go. I don't know who worked that out. I actually have no idea, but they say it's a nice way to pass away. It's just to fall asleep in cold and as I say, I don't plan on putting that to the test, but there you go. And so, folks, you've got some sense of the pace at which I speak. I want to give you an idea of what it's like to actually be up at 8,300 meters. This is me in a tent having a conversation about what lies ahead. And you'll get that idea of how difficult it is to function, struggling to breathe, and everything that goes with that.
The weather's been absolutely superb on our climb up to 8.3. It's steep, some mixed ground, bit of snow, bit of rock. You've got to use all fours on occasions. Pretty much on a Jumar most of the way. I don't always need to be, I don't suppose, but it's a nice bit of security. So you're always clipped in, and it certainly adds to the feeling safe. The plan is to leave, I think, around 10, as you might have heard Luck was saying a little earlier. Originally in our briefing we were speaking of leaving around midnight, but maybe earlier is better. Once again, the forecast is superb. Wind's picked up a little bit now at 8.3, but basically it's been a beautiful day. I was able to walk with the zip down on this down suit. It's incredibly warm, and I really felt as though I was overheating on a couple of occasions. Anyway, so there we go. Preparing for the summit, I guess. What an awesome thought. Sure. Catch up with you later.
So I don't often have the opportunity of putting my tongue out at an audience, so I must apologize for that. So I hope I look a little younger than I did then. I mean, talk about aging and slowing down at 8,300 meters. It's very inhospitable. We're now firmly entrenched in a place called the death zone, where one's human body is starting to die. Systems are shutting down. The digestive system's no longer working. Things start dying. And so we want to spend a limited amount of time there as possible. As little as possible. 24 hours max. Because things start really, truly shutting down. And so what we did on our summer days, we got out of the tent at 9 p.m. This is us preparing, and we moved up to once again, the second step. This is the second step at night. We're going to see it again in a moment. The same place that I turned around the year before. And I was making some phone calls to KFM radio that year to a young DJ by the name of Nick Murray. Some of you might remember him. And Nick had said to me in some of the previous calls, he said to me, Ronnie, when you get up high on the mountain, would you mind calling me and so that we can set up this call in advance just in case you don't make it again? I mean, wasn't that I talk about being like giving me a bit of confidence. I mean, really, just in case you don't make it again. And so we were up at Camp 3, got into the satellite phone, phoned Nick Murray, and he was walking around Cavendish Square on his mobile phone. I mean, talk about two incredibly different worlds. Here I am battling to survive, trying to keep myself alive, and he's shopping in Cavendish Square. And he said, Ronnie, give me an hour and I'm going into the studio, and if you don't mind, call me back. I mean, gee, he had no idea. But be that as it may, he did actually make a phone call to my family. It's my old life, and spoke to my daughter. And I just want to share that conversation as you see me going up the second step once more and getting to the top of the second step. It was just wonderful to be able to go up that ladder again, second time around, this time being determined to be getting there and to be proving Nick Murray wrong, that it doesn't have to have a pre-recorded call.
Hi Ronnie, it's Linda. We're holding some for you, and we are with you every single step of the way. Hope we can even breathe for you and keep warm for you. And we're holding thumbs, and we'll be awake all night waiting for your call. And here's Kaylee, your daughter.
Hi Dad, it's Kaylee here. Just wanted to let you know that we are with you on your journey up to the summit. We're waiting for you back home, and we love you very much. Bye-bye.
Oh well, Nick, I must tell you that I've got goose flesh all over me, man. It's just awesome stuff. Thank you, amazing stuff, and that gives me a lot of inspiration to continue. And I know that when I pass this on to Mike, he'll be just as inspired. So, thanks for what you've done there, mate.
I can't wait to speak to you on the other side.
You know, when I listened to that afterwards and I heard Nick saying, I can't wait to speak to you on the other side, I was wondering what other side he was referring to. I mean, you know, did he have some premonition? I mean, was he clairvoyant? What was the other side he was referring to?